Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me for another Tales from the Crypt review. Today it is Season 2, Episode 8 for Cryin' Out Loud, directed by Jeffrey Price and starring Lee Arenberg as Marty Slash. And in my opinion, this is one of the weaker episodes so far, which is kind of a shame because I actually think the concept of this episode is pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I feel like the lead character is overdone, and the episode is just kind of annoying, actually, and doesn't really work. I'm not really wild about how this episode is executed, even though the idea is pretty good. So we start with our lead character, Marty, and turns out he's going to the electric chair, but he doesn't seem too worried about this. As a matter of fact, he doesn't really seem bothered by it at all. He's just kind of crazed and seems like he's ready for it to happen. So then we go back in time to find out the events that led up to this. Turns out Marty has gone for an ear exam because he says there's something in his ear, and the doctor tells him that all it is caused by all the high-level noise he's been involved in because he is some kind of rock and roll promoter, and all the loud music has affected him. And the doctor says the only cure would be for him to leave the music business, so Marty has a plan to do this. So we get to see Marty being a music promoter for a few minutes, and it turns out he's going to take some money that he withdrew that doesn't really all belong to him. And this is the point of the episode where we start hearing a voice in his head. It's like a narration with his character's conscious talking to himself. It's telling him not to take the money, so it's kind of a battle back and forth. Now, this kind of starts out amusing and interesting as the episode begins, but it gets more and more tiring and annoying as a gimmick by the end of the episode, in my opinion. So Marty's about to leave with all this money when a lady comes in. She's a banker. She's amusingly played by Katie Seagal in a supporting role. One of the better parts of this episode, in my opinion. And basically, she knows that Marty took all this money and she wants half, or she'll basically tell everyone what he did. So a basic blackmail plot. So Marty pretends to go along with this. But of course, being the kind of guy he is, he takes a guitar and basically smashes her over the head with it, eliminating her, the banker lady. So now he's got to hide the body, and he kind of tries to do it in a strange way by stuffing it in some kind of drum kit. It's pretty strange. The problem is he's ready to leave when an officer comes by saying there have been too many complaints about loud noise coming from the place where they're at, which makes sense. It fits into the episode. So Marty has them turn the volume down, even though the officer is not really too amused by this. He eventually leaves. So at this point, this is where the episode really, really gets overdone, in my opinion. The voice that Marty has just continually shouts louder and louder till the climax of the episode. I get the point. It does fit the plot of the episode, but it's very irritating to the viewer. At least it was for me. So Marty tries to make this voice stop, but he can't, and he's trying to now leave, as all he has to do is basically get out of there with the money and he'll be home free. But he can't. The voice is bothering him more and more, and he continues on. Eventually he decides that turning the music up will help his cause, but it doesn't. All it does is bring the officer back, and now Marty confesses to everything, and I also have to say that his ear is not looking too good. So then we get a final scene with Marty waiting for his final act to take place for the electrocution we saw at the beginning, and it turns out he can't really hear at all. So things don't end too good for Marty. And the Crypt Keeper closing segment is kind of amusing as well, but it's not enough to really save this episode, which is just too over the top for me. Others may like it, but I'm going to give For Cryin' Out Loud a 2 out of 5. Definitely, in my opinion, not an episode you need to see. It's definitely not a must-see. It is watchable with a few clever moments, but overall, it just didn't really work for me. So I'm going to give For Cryin' Out Loud a 2 out of 5. And as always, thank you very much for watching.